Casey. You might have seen a few of my posts on the page. I'm going to cook the gyros, however you want to say it. It's my interpretation of how I cook them. It's basically just a kofta wrapped up with some chips and a bit of salad and some halloumi. Just tastes nice, really. Yeah, start with some mince. So I like to get some sort of extra lean mince, really. Don't want anything too fatty. Obviously, it's always going to run out. So yeah, there's no grams, or it's just basically really how much you think is going to feed you. So let's get rid of this. So we've got some mince, just like I say, extra lean mince, bit of fat obviously in there. You want a nice bit of fat. So we're just going to break that up, get that nice and sort of, so it's quite loose in the bowl, really. So basically with this, as I found that I didn't follow a recipe, I didn't find a recipe for kofta or anything like that. It was a case of just what flavours I think really go with it and what will go into it. So it's a case of what's really in your stock cupboard, really, and what flavours you like. So garlic. Oh, no, lost the chilli. So yeah, garlic. I love garlic. Garlic goes in everything in our house. We must walk around stink. So I like to put a good 3, maybe 4 cloves of garlic in there. Fresh chilli. Now the chilli, you can de-seed it. You can leave the seeds in. Depends on how hot you like it. You can leave the chilli out. It's entirely your flavour, what you know you like. Yeah. Bit of onion, just a little bit of red onion, just gives it that little bit of sweetness when the onions cook through, and more for taste, but only a little bit. But we'll go through that. And then your seasons, really. So bit of chili powder for the heat, some crushed chilies for some more heat, bit of turmeric, bit of paprika, some mixed herbs, salt and pepper. Mix that through. Bosh. So we'll start by getting the garlic ready, really. So just get these out. I always tend to get a little bit of garlic stuck in my nails when I'm picking them out, and then later on in the night I think, what's that smell? And it's the garlic under my nails. So I don't know how everybody's getting on with the whole isolation quarantine thing. For me, like I say, it's just been cooking loads. Like, I think my missus is getting a bit sicker, really. I wake up and I'm like, oh, we're going to cook this today, and then I'm just cooking away. This is being fed well. Always the tricky bit, isn't it? So yeah, we've got our garlic. So mince this. So like I say, it's entirely up to you how much you want to put in. So let me just so yeah, so mince your garlic in. Get that in. I've not really got a certain sort of style of cooking that I like to cook. You know, it's a case of what we fancy. Sort of try to eat as clean as possible throughout the week, and then try and cook something a bit more dirty, nice and tasty at the weekends, really. But my main thing, what I'll sort of touch on, is try and really to eat as clean as possible in the week, but making that sort of clean food taste nice, so it's not boring. So that's what I sort of try to do as much as possible. So we've got the garlic in. Garlic's in. Now, like I say, I like my food quite spicy, so I'll put a chilli in. Just take that end off. So not too much. And then we want to try to sort of get that as fine as we can, really. A little fly right in front of my face. Okay, so I think that's quite fine enough. Like I say, he just wants to be so. There's just not massive chunks in there. You know, it just wants to be nice and fine, really. So get that in. Okay. So, like I say, I like to put a little bit of red onion in. Again, it's all this is optional. It's what you like, what flavours you like to eat. But like I say, a little bit of onion in there. Cut that off. So we're trying to get rid of that waste. Okay, so I'm going to cheat here and chopping it up. So this is the best thing I've ever bought. So it's, I think I'm right in saying it's a mandarin or a slicer. Comes with different heads. This one is the sort of dicer. So put that on quite a sort of medium chop. It just saves me chopping it up and chopping my fingers off early. That's enough. So again, we just sort of get that chopped up. Again, you want it sort of quite finely diced, really. You don't want any big chunks in there. We're going to get that in, okay. So now we've got our mince, some garlic, some fresh chilli, bit of red onion. Now it's a case of really, when it comes to seasoning, again, it's what flavours you like. So don't go mad, you know. So bit of crushed chillies, little sprinkle, nothing too much. Remember, because I've got the fresh chilli in there, I'll try to stay away from too many crushed chilies, as obviously it's going to bring that heat out. So a little bit of crushed chilli, a little bit of turmeric. So probably about a teaspoon. That in. Bit of paprika. Good. If I can open it. There we go. So again, probably good teaspoon. Some mixed herbs, as much as you want, really. Bit of chilli powder, just for a little bit more kick, why not? Salt and pepper. So, good bit of crushed black pepper in there. Some nice sea salt. And then the fun bit, just get your hands in and get it all mixed up really. So really like I say, so we want to get a really good, this needs to be really mixed through, really mush, you know. When we get them, for them kebabs, you know, we really want them nice and smooth. We don't want any certain little bits that are going to have more than others. It wants to be all nicely through really. So yeah, so give it a good mush, get your hands in there. So normally I would prefer to cook these on a barbecue, on the grill, but it works just as well in a griddle pan, which we're going to be doing today. So yeah, I think my sort of love of food bit come really from sort of grew up in a pub cooking and with my mum and my grandma, and I think that's where it comes from really. And I think from there I've just always loved cooking and making things taste nice, and don't want to eat boring food really, do we? So I've given that a really good mush. Now I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in, not much, just a little bit. Just binds things together a bit, and also just gives it that little bit of it, obviously, for when it's cooking. Obviously you've got your fat in there if you've got some good mince, but obviously a bit of oil stop it from sticking, just help bind it a bit more really. Just get hold of some chats with gold. It's that rocky horse, isn't it? Oh. Okay. So we want our board. This is just like at home stuff everywhere. Just move this out of the way. Okay, so best thing to do is we want sort of, we're making a sausage really, so you can either skewer them onto the skewers, which helps if you're barbecuing them or grilling them, but if you're just going to do them in the griddle pan, there's no really point really. You might as well just sort of get them into the sausage shape, get them shaped, get them in that pan. So what I'm going to do is get this on so we can get this pan nice and hot. Right, so pan's on, get that hot. So get our meat mix up to the board. Sort of. Now again, it's how big you want to make them, how big you like your sausage. So we're rolling these out. Normally I sort of tend to, so basically what we do is, obviously so in the wrap, in the gyro, you've obviously got some salad, some chips, some halloumi, and then obviously your kofta. So, you know, you only need really one of these in there. You know, any more than that, you know, he's going to be a monster. So, but like again, it's not how much you want to put in. Yeah, we're not burning. So the chips I have copped out. Normally at home I would make them, just chuck them in just make my own chips, chuck them in the fryer. But you can use obviously shop bought oven chips, or tend to obviously if we do that by skin on, makes a little bit better taste. So there we go. We've got one. That's a sort of real sort of. That's a little bit smaller than what I would make them. Obviously, I'll put them on the skewer for the barbecue, but for what we're doing, and sort of if you're just making them for the family as such, cat, that sort of size is fine really. So yeah, like I said, I wanted to start eating a bit better really. So I've been on a bit of a journey, bit of a weight loss journey really, and trying to get a bit fitter. You know, we all slip into routines. So I started about last September. Started getting into my training a bit and trying to eat a bit cleaner, and that's where it's sort of my food thing mainly like sort of started getting a bit more, because I sort of didn't want to eat just the standard sort of chicken, rice, broccoli, you know, standard white fish, and yeah, no. So started looking at how I can make my food taste better but clean. So sort of like I said before, I sort of in the week I would try to eat as clean as possible, but make it, you know, really tasty and nice, and you know, your food hasn't got to be boring. And then I started training the project Chesterfield, the guys down there, and just making sort of a bit most of it really. And yeah, I managed to lose about just over 4.5 stone since September, so I'm doing something right. It's right, we've got a cat on set. I think he's after a kebab. You just try and shoo him off, you know. I mean, I don't mind him. He can stay here for all he likes, really. He's not having any of it. He's mugging us all off. Okay, so we've got one that's a little bit smaller, but you're always going to get that. So there really is your kebab, your kofta as such. Like I said, normally I would probably make them a bit longer and skewer them, and get them on the grill, because it's a bit easier. But cooking it in your pan, also you want to make sure you can get it in your pan. If it's obviously any bigger than that, then yeah. So like I said before, chip wise that go in, I do normally like to make my own chips and put them in the fryer. Or if we're in a rush, I normally tend to buy skin-on fries, oven cook them, which we've done. You want them nice and cooked, that's crispy. If we are, we're just checking we've not burnt them, but we're all right. So we've got a griddle pan, really nice and hot. Hang on, it's slipping off. Okay. We're also going to get another pan on. No need to oil it or anything. That's for the halloumi, but you want that pan really nice and hot. That is this one. So I'm just going to get that pan hot. Right, so in we go. So these don't take long at all to cook. Get that pan nice and hot, and then sort of you want it on a sort of obviously these I cook on gas at home. So I know what temperature I'm cooking, but if you've got electric or induction, obviously they're always a bit hotter normally, so you sort of, I turn that down, get that on a medium heat really. Alright, so yeah, our halloumi. Get in it. Okay. And as you can see, we've got some nice char lines. Wicked. So, oh, this one slides. Yeah. So, like I say, want this pan really hot for the halloumi. So yeah, so then some salad for the inside. And then the onion, I get a bit of red onion, fine slice that. Makes it, I'll show you on the day, it makes it really stringy. Then what we'll do is once we've cooked these in, these are resting, we're going to chuck our wraps in there, and it'll soak up all that flavour off that and get some nice lines on the wrap. Ball of white. We are sliding, so okay, so put some halloumi in there. So we don't slide anymore. Okay, get our wraps. These little ones. Yep. So, back to my favourite gadget I've ever bought. So, like I say, it comes with all the different slices. Get the slicer on, fine slice. So it just makes this wicked, fine sliced onion. You just, unless you're a master chef, you're not going to get that with a knife. Get my mate's back. So while waiting for that to cook, have another drink. Why not? Oh. So hopefully we'll be going back to some normality soon, I hope, because as much as I've enjoyed being off, I am getting a bit bored now, and I think I'm driving the missus a little bit crazy. I think I've been on enough runs and bike rides, and yeah. Chicken and chips. Try to move heat, stop it sliding. The cat's causing just mayhem. He's having none of it. He's mugging us all off. As I was saying earlier, I've never really got a certain cuisine or type of food that I like. I like to try anything really. Do like my spicy food, but it's whatever we fancy really. Try not to eat too much meat. Love a bit of fish, obviously. Just whatever we fancy really. They are looking sweet. So I'm just going to, because they're nearly done, I don't want them to cook, overcook, so I'm just going to wipe them off and wrap them in some foil. Okay. And if you've had the oven on, just stick them in the bottom of the oven. Obviously, it'll keep them warm. While that pan's on, you've got them juices in. You chuck your wrap in there. Get some nice char lines on that wrap. They just love halloumi. I have to admit, it wasn't till Nando's that I discovered halloumi, but just what a wonderful food. Just too slidey. Stay. It's just got a mind of its own lot. Not having it, is it? I just think this dish is so easy to make. It tastes amazing. There's no sort of real right and wrong with it. It's like I said, it's like with your seasoning. It's whatever you really what you like. If you don't want anything too spicy, don't put the chilli in. You know, leave the chilli out. You don't like garlic, leave the garlic out. You can really tailor it to sort of to you. Okay, so going to, hopefully that doesn't slide off. We're going to get our chips out. Look at that. Is there anything better than halloumi? Don't know. So we can get these off now, get sort of plated up. Best bit, wrap. Nice bit of greenery. Some of this stringy onion. And one of the koftas. Bad boy on there. Some halloumi. Sort of do it how you ever want to fill it, how you want to wrap it. Handful of chips. Chips are a little bit overdone, but they'll do. Mint yoghurt. And that's it. As easy as that. Get that bad boy wrapped up, get messy, get it in here. That's what we want. And that's it. Thank you very much. I'm going to eat this.